Welcome back to my channel. Copper Dragons here, and I'm going to be playing some more Final Fantasy 16. So let's hop right in and continue the game. Now last time I finished off Benedicta, with everything I had. Yeah, I don't think I need any health or anything. But let's try and take out these Imperialists. Since, they're kind of in our way right now. Wait, I almost forgot. I have new skills. I almost forgot about that. So yeah, I'm gonna. L2 is to swap skills. Magic sets particularly. Yeah, those weird claw things. Those are basically all that you can get out of the, magic, wind magic particularly. But yeah, let's just try and see what I can do here to grind. Because I'm going to need a lot more levels here before I head into the next fight. So yeah, let's just see what I can do against these wyvern things. Alright, let's give a little bit of attention to Best Boy for gold. Come on. Come on, game, let me give attention to Torgal. Oh, come on, game. I want to give attention to Torgal. Is he still in battle mode or something? I don't think he is now. But either way, let's just try and head to the next, area that I need to head to. I don't think there's any more, like, direct enemies that I can really find right now. Besides the ones at the next goalpost. So let's just go ahead and just see what I can do here. Yeah, I really want to try and use more of the arrow skills. Since that's basically my new skill set, so I want to just try and use as much of that as possible. Yeah, I'm kind of screwing myself over by not dodging, but even then, the enemies aren't really doing that much damage to me, so even then, I don't really need to worry too much. Also, keep in mind, the arrow attacks, they're basically some of the weakest, like, magic-based attacks you can really use in the entire game. So might as well just, like, whenever you unlock more of them, might as well just swap them out if you, like, earn more than, like, 3, which you already get 1, with the fire. So when you unlock 2 more past it, just try and swap out the arrow for any other spell type. So yeah, right now all I have is just a fire and arrow. So yeah, even the starter fire is stronger than the arrow, and you would think that it would be weaker, Hold on, let me check and see if I can swap it out real quick. Wait, actually, first I want to check and see if I can, get any more unlockables. Nope. Alright, let's just check on this stuff real quick. I want to... Okay, I got only Garuda. And the Phoenix... Power of the Phoenix. So, yeah. I want to go to an obelisk before too long, so I can swap out of this uniform. Like, that's one thing I really want to do, is just swap out of this branded uniform, or Iron Wyvern, or whatever it is called. I want to swap out of that uniform, because I think I should have other costumes available, So I really want to swap out of that for too long.
Oh, it's only me.
Dummy, Gav, are you trying to get yourself killed?
It's not me who's been playing with fire. Don't do things by halves, do you? This way.
Alright. I think I did a little bit of overkill, if I'm being honest. But then again, it is an icon that I took out, and those are basically like the central villains, if anything. Like, they're the closest thing to central villains. Dominance like dominants who contain icons.
Just doing me job.
So yeah.
like. So, what about his dominant?
Gone. And after we were so close.
Well, I can track him.
Why would you?
Sid told us about your family. Lost me own to Imperial Steel. Sometimes vengeance is the only thing that keeps you going.
Thank you.
Go safely, brothers.
I reckon he likes you.
Alright. I think that I have to go to the hideaway and use the obelisk there. To,
She's gone.
fully swap my costume.
She's gone.
So yeah.
My lady, you have to hold on. We're going to get
Gone, gone, gone. What am I going to do? Barnabas?
How long to the coastal road?
At this pace, we won't make it by sunset.
He'll know. He'll cast me out like all the others. What am I going to do? What am I going to do?
My lady.
Well, he's dead.
Carol.
Daryl. Seems like Benedicta is about to die as well, judging by the fact she's the only one left, and all her squad died too. So she might be next on the chopping block, if anything.
What do we have here?
Fetch a good price, I reckon.
We'd be doing
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt that.
if we didn't.
But still, that's
Praise
needlessly
our
cool, even for someone like Benedicta. Yeah. So yeah.
It's all right. They can't hurt you anymore.
Yeah, I paused the recording to look up the ages here. Yeah, you might be a little grossed out. Well, more than grossed out. Benedicta was only like 15 to 16 here. Sid was in his mid to late 30s. And it's heavily implied throughout the game up to this point that they had a little bit of a frisky romantic relationship. Yeah. Do with that information as you will.
Let's go home.
And mind you, this is like whenever they first met. Yeah, do with that information as you will.
Is this it, Adolphus?
It's really gross
My
whenever you
punishment
think
for
about
not
it for more than
listening to
half
you.
a second. You know?
This wretched world. It deserves to die. It all deserves to die. Die, die.
So it seems like she's about to transform into Garuda or something. Yeah, it's wild that that, of all things, was the trigger. But honestly, I don't really blame her considering she was so clearly groomed by Sid. Like, it's so blatantly so. Judging by the fact, I'm pretty sure Sid left her whenever she was like 22.
Sid.
And he was already in his like 40s
You
to
feel it too.
50s at that point. So yeah. It's really weird, the relationship. Now you can see
By the flames.
why I don't really care too particularly much about Sid's character. Now you can probably see why. I mean, come on, even Jill and Clive didn't have that big of an age gap.
If Garuda
whenever they first met, even they didn't have that big of an age gap. It was only by like what, 3 to 5 years of an age gap. You know, and that was like, and the one between Benedicta and Sid was like a 20+ year age gap. You know, like it was an over 20-year age gap between Sid and Benedicta. Yeah, it's a, like, don't get me wrong, Clive still screwed up with, you know, ending up with Jill. Really screwed up the ball there, but compared to like Clive and Benedicta, yeah, you can tell which one is the lesser of the two evils, if anything. You know, like you can clearly tell which is the lesser of the two evils, and so blatantly too. Yeah, let's just try and take out the wind elementals here. So I'm gonna need some more XP to take out, to take out Benedicta. Well, Garuda, considering that's what she transformed into. You know what? I've noticed that, you know, a lot of my combat, has been, you know, like, really screwed up because it keeps activating my attacks out of my consent. Okay, I gotta just try and see if I can fix that. Okay. I hope that fixed it, but maybe it won't. I don't know, but I gotta try and see what I can do with story focused. You know, like, I gotta try and fix that whenever I get out of this battle. Let's go ahead and just try and fix that real quick. Okay. That should be good now. Since I switched it to combat focus over story focused, that should have fixed it by now, I think. I hope it did anyways. You know, because like, at a certain point, you get really tired of, you know, things getting, oh, I guess it didn't, you know, I guess it didn't get fixed. I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know why it's automatically setting off the abilities without my consent, you know, being put into it. Honestly, have no clue. I didn't even install, like, I don't even know how to install, like, any, like, adaptive triggers, to my PS5. I don't even know how to do that. So I honestly have no clue what's going on here. Maybe it's because I've already beat the game before. Maybe it's because of that.
I know it.
But I could be wrong. I have no clue why it's doing that. So yeah. Alright, let's just try and take out Garuda with all my might. Since she's one of the last major fights I have for this segment of the game, considering, well, you know, like, I still have a large portion of the game. I don't even think I'm 25% of the way done. This video, I honestly don't think I am. Heck, I wouldn't doubt if I would be done by, like, part 50. I don't think I would be done by then. But I could be wrong. So yeah.
Clive, was that?
The Dominant. The man who killed my brother.
Are you absolutely certain?
Yeah.
Him every night
Just
for the
give it a
past
little
13 years.
bit of time. You'll learn who that guy
It's the
is.
flames of his icon took
That hooded figure. You'll learn exactly who it is. And trust me, it's not a good one. It's not a good answer. Wait, I'm gonna have to fight Garuda without Sid and Torval. You know, like, don't get me wrong, Clive is still very powerful on his own. Heck, he took out, Benedicta earlier in the last video. But still, even then, it was not without, it was still with Torgal. Um, a little bit of help from Torgal. If Torgal wasn't there, I would have straight up died.
Where did he go?
And also without some plot beats you'll learn later. So yeah. Yeah, that's Garuda. Yeah, that's probably one of the weirdest bosses I've ever seen in the entire game. Also, I honestly can't wait to get to the end game of the entire playthrough. That's the one thing I really can't wait to get to. Because the end game is honestly, like the ending itself, I really don't like. Like I've already mentioned, I believe, last video. But the end game, like leading up to it, it's still pretty good. Or at least relatively good. Even though the final boss of the game is relatively easy in comparison to the rest of the game, considering I think I've had more struggle with like a boss fight from bosses prior to that than what I ever did the final boss of the entire game. Considering I think I had to do a couple retries at that point, in that one boss and when I did the final. Mostly because I think that a lot of cinematic flashes happened in the final boss. So yeah. Yeah, you'll eventually learn who that guy under the hood is. And trust me, like I've already mentioned, you will probably not enjoy the answer, but it is still a very well thought out twist, if I'm being honest. But either way, let's just try and see what I can do. Let's just stab Garuda a little bit. Considering I need to get some damage off regardless. Yeah, let's just see what I can do. I really gotta try and pick out Garuda. Let's take out the giant bird lady already. Yes, I've come to learn that staying behind her is easily the most tactical spot. Outright. Like, mostly since, that is mostly where she can't really reach you in terms of her attacks. Like, I think she can only have, like, the kick attack that can really outright damage you at that point. Okay, let's just see what I can do here. Yeah, let's try and deal some damage to Benedicta. Well, Garuda, anyways. Okay, I need to just try and use some precision dodges. Okay, that didn't do anything. Okay, let's just try and deal some damage here. Regardless, I gotta just try and do whatever I can to deal damage. Okay, there we go. That dealt some major damage right there. Yeah, let's just try and do a little bit more, I guess. Hopefully, I can at least get a full-on icon to show up. Because this fight is going to be borderline impossible without one. Especially like it would be an icon on icon fight, which are usually some of my favorite fights in the entire game, is icons on icons. So yeah. Let's use a potion real quick. I'm gonna have to wait for the arrow blast to, slow down. Okay. I don't know what else I can really do to, get Garuda. Okay, never mind. Let's just try and deal some damage to Garuda. Okay, let's just see what I can do here. Yeah, I gotta use a potion. Let's just try and deal as much damage here as possible. I think I'm doing pretty well. Wait, where did that spear come from? Wait, I think I recognize that. I think it came from Sid. Considering, I think that's one of the attacks his icon can use. is like a giant spear. You know, like particularly an electrified one. So let's just try and do some damage here, since I have a lot of damage I need to deal. Wow, I haven't even lost yet, and I don't even think a couple videos. That's honestly kind of crazy to think about, how I've lost such little amounts of damage this entire series for I think the last few videos. You know, I don't know if it's because I'm getting better at the game or what. But I know it has to be something. Alright, let's go ahead and use the cinematic strike. Honestly, the cinematic strike's easily the weakest thing that the series has ever done, in my opinion. Same with the cinematic dodges. Because why not just have us pull out combos instead of just pressing a single button to do, you know, all of that? You know? You know, for each one. Like, it could easily be a lot better if they had it solved by combos instead of pressing or mashing one button. You know? Like, it would have been so much better at that point. Alright, well, that's Garuda dead, I guess. I wanted to deal a little bit of the last damage on her. You know? Because that would have been a lot more fun at that point. Well, I guess that's Garuda dead, I guess. Keep in mind, Benedicta was like one of the weakest icons in the entire game. Same with the I believe the next one that we have to fight. Like, not like obtain, but fight. So yeah.
Let you stand in my way!
Yeah. There's Ifrit again. Yeah, from what you're about to see, you can probably tell who Ifrit truly is. Yeah. If you couldn't tell by that, Ifrit is Clive. Yeah, that really sucks too, because, you know, of events that'll play out later. You know, like, it really sucks to see him go in such a downward spiral, later on. So yeah. Let's just see what I can do here. Yeah, it was such... Like, to be honest, if you really thought about it, it was kind of an obvious twist that Clive would be Ifrit, if you think about it. Because what other, like, possible icons could it have been? You know, icons of fire. Considering, I'm pretty sure that they're only, like, available in, like, royal families and stuff, or higher ranking families of, you know, like, particularly, I think, like, high status families at the very least. You know, brand, or, like, what is it called? Forget what it's called. But yeah, it's, like, typically, like, high ranking families. I know that for sure. At the very least. Mostly because, and Joshua and Clive are the only ones that it could have possibly have been. And Joshua, he's the icon of the Phoenix. Oh wait, it's the dominant of the Phoenix. I almost forgot what it was called, but it's the icon. So yeah. Honestly, keep in mind, you will get access to healing items with Ifrit. It'll just take a while in the game to get that done. So yeah. Let's just try and mash square. I failed a cinematic strike earlier, thinking it would be a cinematic dodge. But yeah. Let's just go ahead and get this done real quick. Let's just get away from this blast real quick. Never mind, it didn't really do too much. Heck, I can do basically that amount of damage than what she's done off to me all battle, like in relative short succession. Alright, let's just go ahead and just try and see what I can do here. Hopefully I can get past this. Alright, let's just try and take out Garuda one last time. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try and see what I can do. If I lose, and I'm just gonna have to retry from this segment of the fight. Hopefully it just manages to allow me to start from back here. Hopefully it does anyways. If it doesn't, then yeah, I'm just gonna be screwed. Okay, let's just see what I can do here. Yeah, I'm kind of screwed, considering I think that, well, actually this might be a cinematic strike or dash or something. So yeah, hopefully I don't lose this, because if I do, I'm probably gonna have to end up retrying to some degree. So yeah. Alright, let's see what I can do. Hopefully this cinematic strike can take out Garuda. Hopefully it can. Or at least get her to a low enough point where I can take her out relatively easily. You know? Alright, I'm gonna have to do a cinematic strike again. Alright, that dealt some pretty decent damage right there. I think I'm gonna have to... Wait, there goes an arm. Yeah, that sucks. Let's just try and take out Garuda with all my might, with whatever I have left anyways, which is just an arm and a little bit of health. Yeah, that's gonna suck. Wait, Ifrit can regenerate limbs? I almost forgot he could do that. Would have been a lot more useful in Final Fantasy VII's remake, you know? Especially since the summons in there are relatively weaker than what they feel like they should be. You know? Okay, there goes her leg. Let's just try and, you know, do multiple punches on Garuda. Go all out! Come on! Punch! Come on! Let's just go ahead and just see what I can do here. Yeah, this is gonna suck, ain't it? Especially in terms of damage. Wow, this is mostly just a quick time event, if anything. Alright, let's just see what I can do against Garuda's remaining health. Alright, let's just see what I can do. Yeah, this is mostly just a quick time event, if anything. And that's easily the worst part about this fight, is that it's just, and a lot of icon fights too, is that they're just mostly quick time events. You know, for the most part anyways. And that's the part I really hate the most about a lot of the icon fights, is mostly that alone. So yeah. I guess that's the end of Garuda. Yeah, that's the end of the fight. And I barely won it by the skin of my teeth, too. Yeah, that really would have sucked if I lost. But hey, at least I didn't lose. Alright, I'm gonna have to get back to the hideout before too long. You know, like, so I can, for one, see what weapons I can buy, and for two, so I can change out the goofy little outfit I have on. You know?
Control it, Clive! It is you, isn't it, Clive? Stop this! Now!
Yeah, let's just go ahead and just see what Sid will do. Please tell me that Sid will tell Clive. I don't remember if he does or not. I think he does, but I don't really remember. So yeah. Oh yeah, keep in mind, by the end of the game, like, time skips forward so fast, and I think there's like a 20-year time skip from the flashback segment from the beginning to the end of the game. Like, I think there's close to a 20-year time skip, if anything. You know? Like, that's really wild to think about.
You're too nice is your problem. Bloody mess.
Alright, sorry about that. My sister ordered some pizza, for everybody. Um, Thought I might as well just try and, get some of that before it's all gone. So, yeah. I'm gonna turn off my mic for the rest of this cutscene.
Oh, Clive. The ghost you've been chasing was inside you all along. They'll be damned if I know what that means. Oh. Why? Why did you have to listen to him? Benner. This can't be what you
Ugh,
wanted. Can it?
it feels so weird. The relationship, it's so weird. Um, I just get so icky every time I see Sid and Benedicta together. I just get so icky. You know? Like, I don't know why Square Enix couldn't have made them, close to the same age. Like, no, maybe like the same, like a similar kind of age gap to Clive and Jill. I don't see why they couldn't have made a similar kind of age gap to them, particularly on Sid's end. Um, you know, I just don't know why they had to make like a 20-plus-year age gap. You know, like, it's just so icky to think about.
King is bold, or desperate.
Will you engage him personally, Your Highness?
Of course.
Griego's breath fill your wings.
It's Muhammad! The prince is with us!
You know what's the worst part about Bahamut and Odin to me in this game? Honestly, it's easily the fact that whenever, well, bit of a spoiler, you get to unlock them. You know, like how you did with Garuda. Oh my god, whenever you unlock them, they're easily some of the weakest of all the abilities. Like, yeah, Garuda's still the weakest by a mile. But Odin and Bahamut, even though they're canonically some of the strongest icons, they're still really weak. You know, whenever you use them.
Reform the cohorts. At once.
Your Highness.
Saboteurs.
Their attacks are frequent and widespread, even in the holy capital.
The capital. What of my father? Is
His
he...
radiance is safe. But he has ordered the city guard strengthened. We can expect no reinforcements.
That is of no matter. The Emperor's safety is paramount.
Oh yeah. Keep in mind,
I shall deal with our enemies
this
here.
segment of the cutscene easily involves one of the. I think it's like one of the plot lines. Oh my god! Like one of these cutscenes that involves him, easily one of the dumbest plot lines I've ever seen in gaming. Because that guy that was standing in front of the blonde guy, I don't know either of their names. I don't remember. The blonde guy, he was trying to strategize for war. Then he says, "Oh, just lay one on me. Just give me a big old smack of sugar." You know, like while they're strategizing for war. Like, don't get me wrong. It's not the fact that they're gay characters. It's the fact that they decided then was the perfect time to start making out. You know, like while they're in the middle of battle. That was so stupid to me. You know?
Awake.
And even then, it was so stupid to just randomly just have a like that kind of plot line involved in such a seriously toned
Whatever the hell that
game.
other thing was.
You know? Like just
Didn't
have
know
a
you were
random,
did you?
like out of romance, like out of nowhere, borderline comedical romance scene in such a seriously toned game. You know, it was so stupid.
It was me.
You know?
I killed him. I killed Joshua. I killed them all. I'm a monster, and I deserve to die. So end it. End it now. Please. Please. Ah! I reckon I can take you, if that's what you want. But first, I thought I'd give you the benefit of my timeless wisdom. It seems to me, you see, that since you're still breathing, you might as well make yourself useful.
Oh,
Yes,
Clive is very much
dirty as
booty
you
butt
are,
naked.
You're not my type.
Yeah, I didn't need that kind of visual in my head, if I'm being honest. Nor did I want that kind of visual in my head. Yeah. Especially since I'm a straight guy. You know? Like, especially since I'm straight. I don't want to imagine another dude naked. You know, or at least have anywhere near that kind of visual. You know? Like, it's... Like, Jesus Christ. I don't want to have that kind of visual as a straight man. Like, don't get me wrong. Women can have eye candy too, but come on. Final Fantasy is an infamously more masculine franchise, if anything. Like, with a more male-dominated player base. Like, don't get me wrong. There are women who play this franchise. I've seen streamers and other content creators do it. But I'm just saying, a large portion of the player base for the games is mostly male-dominated, to be perfectly honest. So yeah. But either way, that's going to be the end of today's video. Be sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.